I know it's something I've been wanting to talk about for a few weeks. Ty brought it up to me earlier. I want to talk about this is not my definition for it, but I heard a black woman actually say this. We want to talk about the son-husband epidemic.
The son-husband epidemic. What does that mean?
A son-husband is a woman, a single mother, right?
Oh, shit.
We don't know y'all situation, whatever happened between you and the father of your child, but now you have a son, and now you're treating your son like he's a husband.
And trying to hold him to the standard.
And trying to hold him to the standard of
what you desire.
In your house. And what you desire, you're dressing him up like your man you want, you're treating him like your man you want, but he's not your husband, ma'am. He's a little kid. He's a son. He's your son. And you trying to raise him as your husband. I know. We go that time.
I mean, I feel like that's spot on with R. Kelly's situation.
What you mean?
Because, like, the way he talked about his mama.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Like, he was like, I want a woman like my mama. Like, I mean, I get that, but he was saying it. Like, I think he was describing his mom by her lips and the way she.
Yeah, it was a graphic conversation.
That's correct.
I was like, whoa,
it was
bro.
An interview. It was kind of different.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
It was uncomfortable.
But I mean, you got
this situation also, not to cut you off, is kind of touchy based on because it kind of seemed like parents were trying to use their children to gain financial wealth.
Bingo.
Oh yeah,
so
for sure.
It didn't. It wasn't purity of him just going and seeking out these victims. They were pretty much placing them in his life.
Yes.
Yeah. For
and
sure.
R. Kelly.
I'm not saying that anything.
Not to pivot into
right. I just want to say this.
Not to say anything.
He's not even.
Okay,
he's not even in prison for that.
Okay.
He's in prison for basically a charge that you give a gang boss. So they had to basically charge him with some shit he really didn't even do. Yeah. To be honest, they basically charged him as a gang boss. They didn't change. They did some shit. Yeah, we know. I'm not saying, but I'm saying he did.
Some shit.
He recorded.
Yeah, he did. He should be in prison for that, but he's not in prison for that. He's in prison for a law
he was acquitted
that basically makes him a gang or like almost a cult leader, which he really wasn't. But my thing about that is obviously I think he should be in prison. That was the only thing
that was able to get him.
I don't like when people set that precedent. That mean if anybody do something, they can change the laws or make it to fit whatever they want just to put you in prison.
Well, let me ask you.
That's the only problem with that.
But let me ask you. If you knew a nigga was out here taking advantage of kids that's brought to him, that's brought, they even know like they're brought to him, like just because you got the opportunity to get some pussy don't mean you got to take it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
He's a sleazeball and he deserved to be in prison. Don't get me wrong. But.
So like,
I believe
by any means necessary to get him in jail.
I see what you're saying, but
I believe
by any means necessary.
Only problem with that, and I'll let you go, Ty. Is they can do that to anybody, and that means you can be a person and you speaking against whatever the dominant society is going against, and they can say, okay, we don't like what you're saying, so we can put this law, even though it doesn't fit what you actually did, and now we can put you in prison for that. That's the only problem with that. You know what I'm saying?
I believe he should have got charged as what he got charged with, but I also believe that the parents should have got charged with sex trafficking.
That's what I think too. They should have got
sex
charged
trafficking
too.
should have been what that is.
Everybody's
I can agree with
should
that.
listen to your child for a financial gain through their talents.
So,
and that's
for sure.
It's raw. It's wrong.
Now give us your thoughts on the women treating their sons like they're their husband. Like literally, before I even got on here, I literally just went on TikTok and seen a video of a girl and she had her son on there, and the song was whatever. What's the little ratchet city girl, whatever the fuck her name is. Girl that get peed on, whatever.
Suzuki.
Young Miami, I think her name is.
I thought it was Suzuki.
And the song was like, my man, something about my man, but it was her son. Bitch, that is not your man. What are you talking about?
Well, here's the thing, bro. Unfortunately, this is what I believe it comes down to. Society is so sexualized now that it's like, just think about it. If you 23, 24-year-old mother listening to Pound Town around you know what I mean? Like it ain't nothing. You know what I mean? It's normal for them to be super hyperly sexualized around their children. Like
that's weird.
At a young age.
That's weird as fuck.
Bro, but that's what it comes down to.
But not
you right though.
Imagine your daughters. Your daughter's listening to Pound Town, and she's 3, 4.
Yeah.
And she's going around talking this.
Pound Town.
I don't
Be whooping it. I walk around that bitch like Pootie Tang, nigga.
Like, you can't imagine that, but what I always think of, I was telling CJ, like the whole scenario how I play is, you got fathers nowadays who want to be Lil Durk and NBA Youngboy.
Man, you 30 years old trying to be a 18-year-old rapper, nigga. Get the fuck
I'm not
on.
saying every, because there's some who do what they got to do and who do it at the best of their abilities. But then you have these women who also live by Cardi B, Beyonce, and not in the manner of motherhood, but in the manner of I can live my life and I can replace anybody that comes into my
Yes, and that's the problem.
And now what you're doing is you're raising fucking Omar from The Wire.
This nigga said Omar from The Wire.
And it's funny, but it's not funny because essentially at the same time you got these young men who are extremely aggressive, but then having problems with their sexuality because they don't know how to express who they are or figure out how to be who they are because there's no guidance along that line. And everybody's always saying, well, this kid is this and this that. It's like, no, there's more into this situation than what's been into.
For sure.
And it frustrates a lot more children than what it helps. Because people say, well, I'm going to send you to somebody or I'm going to have somebody come see you to fix this problem. It's like, it's not fixing the problem. It's only adding gas to the fire.
Well, now here's the thing. Here's one of the things I want to be able to do. I want to be able to provide value. You know what I think the solution is that as individuals, you just have to choose to be committed in general in life. Like, you have to choose to be committed to the woman that you want to be with, to the man you want to be with, because at the end of the day, like, I really do believe that we need each other more than we actually we want to be selfish. Be like, oh, I can get it on my own.
Yep.
I don't need a woman. I don't need a man. But it's like, at the end of the day, it's not necessarily coming from an insecurity standpoint, a place of like vulnerability of like, oh, if I say I don't need a man, or if I need a man, then I look vulnerable. No, it's not that.
Exactly.
Like, you become a more completed person because you have accountability if you have that mindset going into it.
That makes sense because everything in this universe is duality. Yeah. You got to have a positive and a negative, the good and the bad. You can't have the one without the other. So you need to have a man with a woman. It's the law of gender. That's the universal laws. It ain't, people don't understand. Yeah, we got laws in different countries or whatever, but the universal laws are worldwide. The laws of polarity, the laws of gender, male and female, the laws of I'm drawing a blank right now, but I'm asking all this too before we go on to the next topic.
Yeah,
let's go. I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna just ask you this because we'll go into whatever you're saying too. I guarantee it. Now, I think it's no difference between a street guy and a ratchet female. They both operate in a feminine. When you staring at a woman for a long time, a ratchet female, what you looking at? You staring at a nigga, a street guy. What they say? What you looking at, nigga? So what's the difference? You operating feminine as hell. You a sassy ass nigga. What you mean? You mad at somebody would wanna cause somebody's staring at you? Most black men are in jail because they're acting out of emotions.
But a lot of those guys, that goes into also learning therapy and learning different methods of how to express yourself.
Yeah.
And a lot of individuals, we haven't been taught how to express ourselves in a manner without being aggressive.
For sure.
Aggressive.
Black men or just
black men?
Okay.
Surely. Like, a lot of us have all of this energy built up because there's been so much frustration of not knowing how to deal with it so long. It's every day you go through it. But I was gonna say is beforehand of that was women don't realize how powerful they are with the way that they can be inspirational.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yes. My gosh.
Like the way they can motivate a man and push a man to that max is beyond.
And also the opposite too.
And yeah, like you got to speak it into each other. That's what it is, speaking greatness into each other.
For sure. I think one thing that it comes down to is that you got to be aligned on the same foundation before you move forward. Like, y'all, there's just certain things you got to be aligned on, because if you're not aligned, then the shit ain't gonna work, and you just got to be committed. Because like, what if, right, you be committed, you have kids, and then your kids watch you and your spouse go through situations, but they see you persevere. Like at the end of the day, we all learn this shit through, our direct parents. Mm-hmm. But it's like the shit that we learn, can we now be examples for our kids? So it's like, if everyone could just be like, yo, we just have to be committed, not just for the kids, but what are we building? Why am I even getting committed to marriage if we're not building something?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's like, why am I committed to you if I'm not building a legacy? Like, you know what I mean, with each other. If we're not building something, then I might as well be single.
Well, the thing is, to that, I believe in certain aspects is a lot of people are chasing status and not love. And what I mean by that is they're chasing what they see on the social medias, the TVs, the movies, instead of really putting in that time and really that legwork on trying to figure out who they're dealing with.
Yeah, because they fucking brainwashed by the fucking propaganda of fucking the music, the media, the TVs, what your parents are saying, which they are brainwashed from what the same shit from their era. So they just teach you the same bullshit that they was taught, which is not actually facts, or they just going off of like, it's no way you should be 35 plus and you trying to dress like a rapper, my nigga. Like, come on, man. At one point, where are you gonna fucking grow up, bro?
See, I think that's all perspective, though, too.
What's considered a rapper dress now? Because everything is so much involved when you say that.
Well, not saying, I think narratives,
I don't think you should be. I don't think if you're 35, your pants should be hanging way down. No, it should have some type of.
And I'm not saying you need to dress like a Poindexter or wear a suit and tie every day, but at the same time, my nigga, you shouldn't be worried about to me, the latest fashions or what's going on. And like, nigga, you got kids to raise. Why are you worried about that shit? You worried about what the fuck you got on, my nigga? Who the fuck care? At the end of the day, only people who care about that is you. It's in your mind. Nobody really gives a fuck about what the fuck you wearing. I got like, niggas still be talking to me like, yeah, I paid $2,000 for the pants. Like, nigga, I be like, you got gypped, dumbass. Cause that shit cost $3.50 to make. You paid $2,000 for that. You trying to brag to me about it? To me, you a fucking dummy.
See, I think it's all perspective about how you handle your responsibilities. Priorities.
Right.
If you dressing like, for example, it's like you got the nicest car, but your house ain't the nicest. You know what I mean? You got a hole in the roof.
Nigga,
you know what I mean? But you driving like, it's about priorities more so than it is about how you dress. Because I mean, me personally, like I said, like I don't really care how a person dress. I try to live my life where I don't judge people how they dress.
Yeah.
But it's more so like, where's your priorities? Bingo. Like, if you spending $3,000 on some Balenciagas, but yet your kids need food. You know what I mean?
It's a lot.
Come on, bro.
Or
school supplies, or they need to go on vacation because kids are expensive. Yes. If your kids need to go on vacation, they going to the Toledo Zoo in Ohio. They need to pay for lunch and a little dinner, and it's gonna cost overall $100 to go. Yeah. You can't pay $100. You know what I mean? But you got Balenciagas.
Right. Then they calling me trying to borrow money.
That's ignorant. You know what I mean?
Stop calling it.
To me, that's ignorant.
I just want to say, stop asking me to borrow money, niggas.
Every weekend they're at a party, but yet they ain't got it for their kids to go on.
Man, or you buying weed every week, but you trying to borrow money from me. Stop asking me to borrow money if you got weed. Where's my camera at? Stop.
Hold on.
I gotta say this shit.
There you go. Yeah.
Stop motherfucking asking me to borrow money if you buying weed every week. Stop buying weed and save that money. You wouldn't have to ask me to borrow the fucking money, right? Yeah, we're gonna shift to the next topic, bro. This has made me mad.